Hey everyone! Today I'm sharing another interactive layout that I created in my Life Crafted travel album for our Seattle and Portland trip. And I'm using the new Explore collection from Citrus Twist Kits to create this fun interactive peekaboo layout featuring some of the major tourist attractions that we visited in Seattle. I was really inspired by this map pattern paper from the Traveler's Notebook digital papers in this collection, and I wanted to create a little peekaboo effect for the different tourist attractions that we visited that correspond to each of these places on this map. So I'm working on my self-healing mat, and I'm just cutting out those little flaps. And I'm making these 1.5 inches wide by 1.5 inches tall. You can feel free to make these cutouts whatever size you want them to be, but for the size of this map in particular, I felt like 1.5 inches squared would be a perfect area to allow me to capture most of the labeled places on this map. And I've also picked out 7 photos from our trip to represent 7 of these labeled places on the map. And I've printed these out at about 1.6 inches by 1.6 inches and with a bit of a white border around them. So that's just a tiny bit larger than the 1.5 inch wide window that I'm creating. And I'll be doing a video soon about how I print out my photos so that they're specific sizes, so make sure to watch out for that coming up soon. So for each of these areas on the map, I'm just trimming along 3 of the 4 edges in a square around each of these words on the map. And I'm not being too careful about keeping the images intact while I'm cutting through this map. I just want to make sure that the word is still legible when I'm cutting this out. I did want to make sure that all my cut marks are straight though, and I did find that using this Tim Holtz design ruler or any transparent ruler with grid marks on it really helps in making sure that your squares are straight and the lines aren't too crooked. After I've cut out along 3 of the 4 sides of each of these squares, I'm using my bone folder to make a score mark along that 4th edge so that it creates a flap. And I'm going to use my single hole punch to punch a little notch on the opposite edge of the pattern paper as the folded side of the square. And that way, if this flap ends up getting stuck and isn't opening properly, this notch is going to allow me to just get my fingernails under there and open it again. After that, I'm just lining the back of the outside of the square with some 1/8 inch score tape and attaching my photo into place behind the window. Just speeding this video up a bit here while I repeat the same steps for the rest of my windows, and I'm making a total of 7 windows for this page. I just didn't have any photos of any bridges or ice cream shops that we visited in Seattle, so I decided to just ignore those markings on the map. And while I'm cutting these windows out, I'm also making sure to cut my flaps so that the peekaboo doors are opening in different directions for each of these flaps, just to provide a bit more interest to this page. And you'll notice later on that I did place all of my photos on the front of the map before I got too far with my cutting, just to make sure that I would have room for all of them on this page. You want to make sure that you leave at least 1/8 of an inch between your cut marks and the edges of your paper as well. And this looks a bit time consuming, but I timed myself while I was doing this, and making this layout only took about half an hour to do, including all the embellishments that I kind of hummed and hawed about later on. And I did eventually realize that I had adhered that photo of the Museum of Pop Culture sideways in my window, so I did fix that later on off camera. In the meantime, I just wanted to mention how much I love the fact that this Explore kit coordinates really beautifully with the teals and oranges in the Travelogue kit that released in April of this year on the Citrus Twist Kits website. I used that Travelogue kit a lot in this album to document some of our more outdoorsy hiking and beach excursions during our trip. And I love that I can use this Explore kit to fill in some of the more urban sightseeing adventures, and it'll just make my album a bit more cohesive as well. Now that I'm finished with cutting out all these peekaboo windows, I'm just using the white puffy stickers from the kit to label all of my windows according to the numbered journaling card that I've printed out. That was originally a 3x8 bookmark from the Explore digital journaling cards, and that was numbered from 1 to 10, but I modified it a bit on Microsoft Word so that it only goes up to number 7 because I'm only including 7 locations on my page. And this is going to go on the left page of my layout. I picked another teal colored pattern paper from the Traveler's Notebook digital papers to go in the background just to match the teal in the map pattern paper. And I'm also adding the title Seattle Highlights along the left edge of my page. I probably could have adhered those down a bit closer in from the edge of my page, but at that time I wasn't sure whether the word highlights would have to go on a second line or if it would fit right beside the word Seattle there. Before I adhered this bookmark down, I'm just going to pick out a couple of embellishments to decorate my page. These are some of the chipboard stickers from the Explore kit. The bottom one is a heart shape that says Hello Adventure, and the top one says I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list, which I thought was perfect for my list of places to explore. And I also decided to use one of the puffy speech bubble stickers on the top left corner of my map, just to make it look more like I intentionally didn't put a photo in that corner. And that one says, "Adventure is wherever you find it." I did also add a puffy sticker of a teal colored building just to the right of where it says places to explore, just to kind of balance out the right side of that page a bit. And that completes my layout. I hope you enjoyed watching me put together that fun and interactive spread. I definitely will be doing some more travel spreads in this Life Crafted album using this kit, just to fill in some of those extra pages that I have from documenting my travels, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe for more process videos. Thanks so much for watching!